just walk around this house and then back up.
Yeah.
Ja, jetzt überlege. Wenn du jetzt kein...
Weil ich nämlich hier aussteigen kann. Du musst das gleich.
Der muss ja erstmal...
Ja.
Tidigt.
Jo, jo. Nej, alltså hon kommer inte...
Normal السعودة. يعني هو
Ja, just det. Maybe.
Du kommst ja immer wieder mal in die Zeit. Ja. Oh, ja. Der ist auch da.
Mittlerweile legen wir das Gefühl, dass wir doch noch so ein bisschen on-off und noch nicht so ganz ab.
Wenn nicht, mal gucken, vielleicht zahle ich auch.
Ja. It was a good wine. It's okay, we can cut it a little bit later. Skål igen. Vi kan try another skål. Nu har det kallt vin också. It's nice.
Weißt du, wenn es so unmöglich ist, zu lesen, steht da die Einträge. Diese Steine erst dann zusammen dazwischen schützen und dann kannst du einfach Wasser dazwischen schütten.
Oh, well, I'm good now. I'm too old.
But because the country is poor, he said to me, only give it one slice bread a day or two slices, nothing. The wheat, all the wheat and the
It's
thing.
like a cruise ship, but they only go on the river up and
They
down.
go in the farms, if they have a boat to ship, they go take it. There is 100 today, take it from your farm or my farm, kill, send it for the soldier. All the time, you got suffering for everybody. You know what we look? You must go by the house. After my house, 13 years. Yeah, two jobs. Yeah, but I have one job. But there was a lot of overtime. I never worked 40 hours a week, never. 65, 71, 70 a week. All the time more. One time my grandchildren tell me I worked all day and I rose up. Then they were 5, 6 years old. Then they asked me, before I come home 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock get up, pack my bag again, have a start with yeah, she remember. Shift work was the worst. Yeah.
We never, Christmas, Easter, probably over 24 hours. So always happy to be working.
Saturday, Sunday.
You can come back. You lost always happy to be on Easter and Christmas all the time. For about 20 years, well, there was a work. Bagger the things hours.
Yeah.
They're fixing this out though.
You know, here today, when the bus drives, they are the cars on the side.
Bei jeder
Der versteht es, dass ich hier behinderte Tochter herkomme.
Yeah?
Yeah, used to very often on Sundays.